Thank you for joining the June 11th, 2019 VOLTHA call. We have a few topics on our agenda today. I just wanted to remind everyone that the VOLTHA calls are public and recorded meetings, and we typically post them to YouTube. So please keep that in mind during any discussions and any presentations and demos today. With that, I think we'll go ahead and get started. So we do have a demo on the agenda this morning. And then after that, then we'll start reviewing the new JIRAs and take any remaining time as needed to address issues in Sprint 2, which is our active sprint for VOLTHA 2.1. With that, Onkar, are you on the audio bridge?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And I believe you're going to start off our meeting today with a demo on optical reading on the ONT, which is related to CIBA 595.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you like me to give you presentation rights? Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Let me make you the presenter. And hopefully you've got presentation rights at this time.
No, I haven't got it.
Okay. Let's see. Showing you as presenter on my side. Did you get a pop-up window?
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah. So hi guys, myself Onkar. I'm from Starlight. So today I'm going to demonstrate on CIBA 595, that is operational status information retrieval for optical data. So as a part, let me give you some background information about this ticket. So as a part of 595 CIBA 595 ticket, so I have to retrieve the parameters that is like laser bias current, optical voltage, optical module voltage, temperature, receive optical power, and receive optical signal level. So when we look for the information, how we can get it from the ONT, and we get to know that this information is available as a part of NEG, that is managed entity 263, available in Open OMCI document. And when we run the OMCI test action on it, then only these parameters are possible to retrieve it. So as a part of CIBA 595, we have implemented OMCI test action with loading the NEG as a managed entity and call this test action or like on the using Open OMCI model and get the results. So let me quickly show you the demo. So as you consider, these are the tabs. These first two tabs represent the Open OLT driver. Now these tabs contain my build server for the VOLTHA, and this is like for the provisioning I have used it. So let me start with the Open OLT driver, and I will bring my environment. So it will take 2 minutes. And the end goal for this story is to, whatever the parameter we are getting, I have to keep this parameter on VOLTHA.kpis, so that that can be available for the KPI purpose. So as you could see, this is my Kafka container. So let me start with the start with VOLTHA Kafka consumer with topic VOLTHA.kpis, as you could see here. Now this is the VOLTHA CLI, which I am going to provision in my OpenOLT driver. OpenOLT. So this will take some time to provision it. As it gets success. As you could see, the devices are getting discovered and the ONU is getting activated. Once the initial MIP get downloaded, so as once the first ONU MIP get downloaded, you can see these parameters get available in the Kafka bus. Just one second. I think there is some error from ONU side. Let me do it once again because I think there is some loose connection with the ONU. So let me try it once. As the devices are like still waiting to enable it.
So basically, you just restart everything again, right?
Yes, yes. So basically, there is some loose connection with the ONU in our lab. So it happens.
Okay. Which version of are you using VOLTHA 6, the VOLTHA 1 and the masters?
Yeah, it's a master branch. Currently, I'm using it.
Okay.
As you could see, the devices are starting.
Mm-hmm. So you have two alpha ONU.
Yeah, alpha ONU. Yeah, as a part of this, as you could see here, so we are getting the test action information. So let me copy this information first. So that everybody can see it properly. As you could see, we have retrieved, as you could see here, the entity class is 263, that is the NEG class, with the laser bias current, temperature, power feed voltage, mean optical launch power, and the receive power. So as we have two ONUs configured, so basically you can see the serial number is also a different one, as the serial number is ending with B1 and serial number is ending with D6. And these values we are getting with the period of interval. Like currently I have configured with the 1 minute, but it was decided for a demo purpose I have configured it for the 1 minute, but for the day for the production purpose we can set it for the 10 minutes also. And these parameters are easily configurable. If you could see OMCI test action, OMCI test request file, so you can easily configurable over here with the default connection.
The way the original ticket was written is an on-demand status query. So the intention is when you execute the command, you get the current actual real-time status. That's the way that the ticket was written. I don't know if this is just then going to cache this somewhere and return whatever the last result was, but the intention of the command was real-time retrieval. the intention of the JIRA was real-time retrieval.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah. So what? So right now this is when okay. What I'm trying to say, you're using the OMCI test function, right?
Yeah.
And when is that being issued? Is when during the registration it will be issued, or?
So basically,
this is saying he's issuing it once every minute.
So basically,
Okay.
this is yeah, we are calling once the ONU get activated, and after that, currently right now, what we are doing is we are scheduling the task based on the default collection frequency.
Okay. But is the OMCI test is the only way we can retrieve those information? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so basically, as a part of like AT&T OMCI document, or you can look into the ITU G988 document. In that section, section 2.90, 2.39, it is like showing when we apply the optical line supervision test action. If you could see here, then only these parameters are retrievable. So this is the only way we are getting this information from the ONT.
Okay. So I think what Mike's question was, because the script right now is set up to run every minute, right? So can the test can be issued based on on demand, basically, right?
So yeah, so your point is the test action can be invoked on demand, but these parameters we required it for as a part of KPI, and the KPI activity, as you could see, there is another KPIs are there, and they are like doing polling action based on certain intervals. So for that purpose, we need to run this task for a particular set of intervals. So for demo purpose, I have configured it 1 minute, but later point of time, we are configuring it for the 10 minutes.
Well, every 15 minutes is the standard interval for PM from the ONU ports, right? So
yeah, I guess
they can change that. That's easy.
So I guess the request is, to have an on-demand test, right? So basically, I make a request and I get a response of the current status, right? So, and the same would be true of like any PM as well. If I want to go and get the uniport PM, I could make a request and get the snapshot of what it is at that moment. So I guess we have no mechanism right now where I can make a request from an external, make an external request for those like PM or whatever, right? So we need to have a mechanism established so I can make a request for some action or data or whatever, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I mean the periodic nature of PM coming up every 15 minutes, as was being said, would definitely be streamed up and whatever, but the specific status commands and the specific on-demand retrieval commands doesn't want data that's 15 minutes old. It's trying to get it immediately. So yes, that was the point of a number of these user stories.
So I guess the Omkar, I think this is great. I mean, this is at least you get this available right now. So I guess we need to. So this is KPI, but we need to enhance it. Maybe there's just next phase. How can we issue the command on demand and then have the I think that not just apply on the optical, right? Apply everywhere else regarding to. Right. So I think we need to have that mechanism in place, but I think this is a very good first step.
Yeah, I mean,
at least we can.
The only reason I mentioned it is because the JIRA that went by when we first started, that they brought that JIRA up when they were talking about. So the only reason I made a point here was because it seemed like it was related to that JIRA, the operational status JIRA. So yeah, that was the only reason why. I'm not saying this is.
So, Omkar, so other than the power level, what other things did you enable the display now?
No, I can't like understand. So basically, as of now, only these are the parameters available.
Okay.
Sean. Sean,
Finish.
Michael, I think is it something we are looking as a CLI option available, or it should be displayed as a KPI on the let's say on the Grafana or on Prometheus? Is it the case, or it is a CLI we are looking for in addition to what it is right now?
There needs to be an API that can be called in order to do this.
Okay, API, right? Okay, we can think about it. Yeah, that's a good point.
So
sorry.
we could retrieve this much information.
So one question, Michael, you said yeah, there has to be an API. So I mean, are you looking for an API on northbound of VOLTHA, or API at this redfish layer?
Vikas, I don't think this is related to the redfish, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. So
I mean, the API that I would be most interested in would be I guess an end-to-end API that would be presented on top of NEM. But obviously NEM would need to be able to call an API into VOLTHA. So I assume there would have to be an API on VOLTHA that would provide the detail to NEM. I see multiple levels of APIs being required, but from the point of operationally, it would be called on top of NEM, and then possibly if you had a netconf server, then there might be a netconf model that would come down and request that information above that. But I'm not talking about the netconf and the details. So I mean, there would need to be a NEM level API that would drive everything down into real-time information.
Right. I get the answer. Thanks. So Sean Ying. So I think I also had this question earlier. I guess the framework right now, VOLTHA, does not have any such API other than the operational state of ports and devices.
Exactly.
Right?
I think that's why Scott Baker. I think right now, the way I see it, the way we just try to expose whatever available, right? So whatever available now will get shipped into the Kafka bus, and then but I think we do need to have a mechanism. The CIBA as a framework, including from the NEM, from down, then we need to have those APIs so it can be reflecting on as the on-demand type of the query. Right. So those mechanisms, I don't believe we have that mechanism established just yet. So I think that's one of the gap we need to fill. Because that answer your question.
Yeah. Because I think we ran into this problem even while discussing some other interfaces to get live operational data from, let's say, OLT and ONU.
Right. For
Okay.
example, like the port status, right? So you want to get the port status. I think we need to be able to not how do you call it? You need to be reactive. You know what I'm saying is, a command come down to retrieve those information. You provide the current data, not the history data.
Exactly. So the point is, this might need a larger architectural discussion to provide those interfaces.
Exactly, and I think that's maybe, I don't know whether Zach is on also. I think that's some of the alarm and the PM related document we need to get that nailed down also. I think because you hit exactly the right point. We need to be able to support it, not just throw everything into Kafka, but automatically. it had to support push and it also had to support pull model.
Right. Okay, thanks.
So it sounds like the requirement would be that the response comes back via the API as well. Then it wouldn't be sufficient that we introduced an API that, you know, just said run a performance metric now or run a test now and let the response flow back via Kafka. We actually do want like a stateful RPC that does request and reply all at once. Is that right?
Yeah.
But again, right? So when you say reply all at once, I can be, it could be not everything, right? Potentially maybe very task or object or
no, a very specific API to retrieve a very specific set of parameters, not retrieve everything, just a very, I mean, yes, a command and response type of mechanism, yes, not a command and then the response goes up on the stream on the Kafka. No, yeah, the command that comes back directly to the initiator.
Sometimes we do that. We do the periodic polling, right? But I think the periodic polling is not VOLTHA's responsibility. It's Northbound. So in this kind of the performance data or alarm, yeah, they need to support reactive type of the response also. But I think this is a very good step. And then like Sean was saying, majority, at least on the AT&T point of view, we do the KPI reporting every 15 minutes. But I think so. One of the in your program right now you said that's 1 minute. I don't know whether it will be necessary to have a mechanism to make that a variable, and or not. So when but that can be as the VOLTHA when we bring it up, that's already set up automatically. So I don't know whether we want to do it as a variable to be used very frequently instead of 1 minute, where now we have 15 minutes on the clock. That's another issue. We have to do it. So the time. Oh wow, the timing has to be. We probably need to think about the timestamp issue also. But Omkar and I think Ganesh, this is a very good work. I think this is one of your first contribution to the community. I really appreciate that. The Sterlite. I think we are on the right track for this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. The Bjorn, I know you're on the call. Do you have any comment you want to address?
Hi, Sean. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the beginning. I don't have any comment to add to that. What was already said. So I think we should go ahead on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sean, hi, Vikas again. Sorry, I have another question. So I had posted this question in one of the mail threads related to discussion on fetching these parameters through OMCI from ONUs. I didn't get any answer in that thread, so maybe I can float it here. So if I look at the ITU spec for OMCI, so this test action sounds like ONU runs some tests to gather this data. So I'm not sure, does this happen in reality? Is it so that ONTs have this information available right away? Or when we send this, or when we perform a test action on this ME, it is going to trigger some sort of diagnostic tests within ONU that might end up consuming some resources, or it might cause some overload or overhead on ONUs. Is that the case? Or is it just right away responded to by ONUs?
It varies per test, and it's defined in the 988 as to the behavior of the ONU. So sometimes it will respond right away because the data is available right away. Other times it may take longer, in which case it sends a response, but then there's an autonomous update later on that comes back.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily going to always respond with the data right away, but it may take some time to complete the test action.
Right. So whenever there is an autonomous response, which means the ONU had to run extra tasks to capture this data. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just going to, in the standard, it's supposed to respond in under a second. But if it can't do it under a second, it just acknowledges that it got the request, and then it will respond later when it has the data, response data available.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
That's actually fine with each test. Sorry.
Yeah. Omkar, I think I missed the portion how this got triggered.
So basically, when like in Broadcom ONU handler, if you could see, in handler, once the ONU get activated, so in activate method, so we have written a routine to activate the performance matrix evaluation for OMCI test requests.
Okay, so you insert this as a part of ONU activation.
So basically in VOLTHA, the current performance metric evaluation happening after the activation of the ONUs. The same way I have triggered the OMCI test action request also.
Okay. Hey, Mike, do we collect the optical data every 15 minutes for all the ONUs?
I'm not sure that that's something I'm not sure that that's a KPI that we check today. I have to check on that, so I can check.
Okay, great.
Well, it may very well be that we do that we expect that to be just a snapshot piece of data. Obviously, it's not. I mean, PM happens every 15 minutes. Things accumulate, but obviously you can't accumulate optical levels, and it may just be intended to be a snapshot every 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think some of these have thresholds as well. Like I don't remember if these are threshold, in which case if a threshold exceeds, you get an alarm. But you know, not necessarily captured every 15 minutes or whatever. But.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for Omkar?
Again, I think a wonderful work, and especially triggers the discussion is very necessary. I think Omkar, thank you for the contribution.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
So when do we want to have a discussion about implementing this larger querying API? Because I think we'll need to get settled on that, before Omkar could take this work to that level. Do we want to wait until Zach is back and see if that ties in with the alarm stuff, or?
He's already gone?
I believe he's on PTO for a short while.
I know where is he going, but I cannot share in the public domain. Sorry, Julie. Pat, how about let's have some discussion starting next week on your call, Monday.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it on the agenda for Monday morning's pod management call.
Yeah, because there's a VOLTHA FCAP part of it, right? So okay.
Yeah. Okay, thanks guys, and thank you, Omkar. I too enjoyed the presentation.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and take presentation rights back. So thank you again. Scott, I've got a question for you. So it sounds like you'll have some discussion on Monday. If you want to carve out some time on the VOLTHA call as well as follow-up, let me know so we can get that on the agenda.
Sure, I'll let you know. And would that be for a Tuesday call or a Thursday call, or just whichever suits me?
Probably whichever suits you and our schedule. I usually try and do the technical discussions on Thursday so we have additional time. But I think, let's see, when is our sprint running to? If it's the Thursday right before our sprint ends, it might depend how much time you need. If it's just a short, like 15, 20 minutes, we can probably do it on Tuesday. If it will require a bit more time, we probably need it on a Thursday.
Yeah, okay, well, let me see where we get on Monday, and that'll let us know whether we have something to discuss on the VOLTHA call.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Well, on another thought, Julie, do you have anything on this Thursday agenda for the that's
what I was going to offer up.
Demo.
Was we've got the demo from David, and then we have time if that was suitable. But if we want to have the discussion on Monday first with the brigade, that's up to the group on what works best.
Hey, David, is your controversy discussion will take a long time? No. Let's keep it on Monday. I think I think that's fine. Yeah.
If it doesn't take a long time, then it's not very controversial.
No,
Okay.
David, how long your demo will take on Thursday? You're on mute. I couldn't hear you.
It'll take as long or as little as time as you want. I can do it in 10 minutes if you want. It's just really to introduce the tool, and then people can go off and explore.
Okay. Judy, what do you think? Maybe let's do it on Thursday.
That's fine with me. Scott, does that work for you?
The discussion this Thursday instead of Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Does Onkar and Ganesh, are you guys going to be available this Thursday?
No, we are not working this Thursday. Currently, we have online meeting.
That's right. They have an event going on. Okay. Next Monday is fine.
All right. Okay, so we'll keep it on Monday and then follow up on a VOLTA call next week if needed after that initial discussion on Monday.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll update our Monday agenda with a note on that.
Sounds good. All right. So Onkar, thanks again for the demo. Appreciated seeing that. It's good seeing the development you used of the test and test response OMCI messages. So appreciated seeing that. Next on our topic is, or on agenda today, is looking at the new JIRAs. We've had a few come in. So we'll start with 1684. Okay. And 1684, David, I think this one is one that you've completed already. This was a defect open. VOLTA Helm charts don't work with Helm 2.14. I don't know if you want to give any discussion. You'd given a pointer to some Helm-related discussion previously.
Yeah, basically it was we're not going to change any of our code. There's an issue with Helm 2.14.0, so don't use 14.0, use 14.1. Or 2.13.1. There was an issue on the email list about something else that I'm chasing down with the Helm charts as well.
Okay. Thanks. Any questions from the group? All right. Then next, let's go on to VOL 1685, generate open OLT WN package file. And this is part of the BAL 3.0 brigade work. Let me see if we've got Jason. I don't think we have Jason on the bridge today. Any questions from the group that we need to take back to Jason? I expect these are being discussed on the brigade calls as well. All right, then let me go on to VOL 1686, NNI activation failure. And this is part of the BAL 3.0 brigade as well. And NNI activation fails in 3.0, and there is a CSP that is opened with Broadcom, and we don't have the number tracked in here yet for reference, but there is a placeholder for it. Oh, it looks like it is down here in the comments. So we can pull that up into the description. Do we have any questions from the group that we need to discuss today on this item? Okay. Okay, let's move on then to 1687, delayed update of device object on non-owning core. This is opened by Stefan. And we do have the description here, and it looks like at least one merge that we've got in Garrett at this time.
Yes, that's completed.
Ah, all right. So let me go ahead and map it into the sprint. you have any questions from the group? Okay, let me move this over to Dun. Thanks for that update. And then the next item, 1688, when enabling OLT, ONU activation is stuck in starting OpenOMCI. And it looks like, William, you opened this one and have worked it as well. And this item is complete also. Do we have any questions from the group?
So William, are you on?
I believe I assume it looks like he may be just reconnecting on audio.
Right, maybe to someone.
Let's give him a moment. Okay. So how about I'll go on to the next one, then we'll circle back to this one. Oh, we do have William on.
William, so how do you? No, that's okay. I don't need. So, what was the root cause for this activation stuck in the starting OpenOMCI state? Do you know? Yeah, I'm not sure if he can speak. Maybe that's fine. I'll check with him offline.
Okay. Okay. So William, if you're trying to speak, we're not able to hear you. So I think Sean's going to follow up with a question offline. And let's go ahead and move on to 1689. ONU stays in discovered state, race condition during ONU discovery indication. And Mahir, it looks like is working this as well as opened it, and we've got the description here. And we do have a patch under review in Garrett. Do we have any questions from the group?
I'm wondering whether this one relates to the previous one.
No, it isn't, Sean. In fact, this is something else. Serkan has such a task like that before. But as you see, I uploaded some change to Garrett, but there are some comments from Amit, from Ken, and Girish. So I will try to draw a message sequence chart and try to make clear on this situation. So, and I drop a mail to VOLTHA discuss, so we can discuss on it, because this should be discussed by community, and we have to find a solution and come with a design for that problem.
And as you said, so this is against the VOLTHA 2.0 Go core, right?
Sorry, about what?
This is a 2.0 issue discovery.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you have.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
If you could please upload the logs from the VOLTHA core as Ken requested, that would help.
Okay, I don't have logs now, but I can do the test again and upload the logs again.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
So I can do it. And if you have time, I mean, I have a message sequence and describe the problem here, but if you don't have time, as I said, I can drop a mail to VOLTHA to discuss it.
If we've got the right representation on the call, then I think it's a good time to discuss it. We do have about 20 minutes left for the call, and just a few of the new issues, which are kind of the key thing to get through today. So go ahead and take a little time.
Okay, can you give presentation right to me?
Sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Then the problem is, so in this picture, so let me open another one because you cannot see the Okay. So here you can see the OLT adapter, ONU adapter, and core. The problem is when an ONU discover is received by OLT adapter, it sends the child device detected to core, and core starts do something like informing ONU adapter, getting a response from the ONU adapter, and then it inserts the child device into key-value store. But while doing that, here the OLT adapter sent the activate ONU message back to the OLT device, and do not wait for any response from the core. So after it sent this message to OLT device, an ONU indication is sent by the OLT device to the OLT adapter. I mean, it is here, but in fact, it may come anywhere here. It's up to the ONU device to send this ONU indication. So it may come here somewhere, and then when this ONU indication received by OLT adapter, this OLT adapter tries to get the child device information from the core, but I mean, this child device information may not be inserted to the KV store yet if this ONU indication is received very early. So there's a race condition here. And so if we receive the ONU indication very early, then we cannot find the child device in the KV store. So this is the main reason of the problem.
Mahir?
Yes, in Go adapter, I don't know who, but somebody inserted the code here, a for loop here, as you mentioned, Amit. And by this for loop, I think he tried to be sure that the core inserted the child device child device to KV store. So here we on a loop, the child device is queried from the core, and after a successful response is received, the activate ONU is sent to the device. So, but this for loop is not a proper way to do this. So we should find another way to generate this activate ONU message after we have been sure that the core is finalized its initialization about this child device.
Mahir, I have a quick question for you. You mentioned that the data is not in the KV store.
Yes.
What exactly do you mean? Do you say like when you do a device state change, you call the API in the core, and the core is saying the device doesn't exist? Is that what you're saying?
On the current situation, the latest code in the VOLTHA adapter, there is also another code that I deleted in my patch. It is that before this activates ONU, a status update is inserted here to update the core with the child device status. Update the child device status. But because the child device is sent to the core very recently, when trying to update this child device status, you cannot find the child device status in the KV store because it's on its core is on its way to insert it.
How fast is those two commands are sent after each other? Does it wait for the response from child device detected, or it doesn't wait? It just sends child device detected immediately, followed by device state change, or is there a wait for one request to complete before sending the other request?
On Python adapter, this add ONU device sends the child device detected message to core, and right after it, an activate ONU is sent to the OLT. So there is no time between these two messages or APIs. On Go side, so we send child device detected here, then send the activate ONU in a for loop. So we try to be sure that the child device is inserted in the KV store at core side. As you see, we are querying to get the child device from core, but we do not use this information. This is only done, to be sure that the KV store is, the child device is stored into the KV store.
Okay. So what
I've changed in this task, it is this part. Because in this part, first one, the adapter tried to change the status of the device, but this is done by ONU device already. And this get child device query is not in the for loop, so it done immediately after the child device detected, so it fails all time. Okay. So because it failed, the ONU, as you see, there's a return here, and so the ONU stuck in the discovery state. So this is we should remove this one into for loop, or to me, this is not essential because this state update is already done in ONU adapter. So we can remove that part. So I removed that part, but we also have to find a solution to this part. As I tried to explain in this picture, it is that side of the problem.
So in short, what you're telling me is in the Python adapter, we're sending child device detected followed by state change.
No state change is done on Python adapter because ONU adapter already doing it. So on Python adapter, there is no state change. The state change is done only by Go adapter. So I said we can remove this part.
Okay. So in principle, that because if I look at the code that you have, you're actually waiting for the result of the child device detected, and before you issue the command to get state change, to make the state change of that device. So since you're going over Kafka, I don't think that the core won't have time to save that device. In fact, when the child device detected is received, the core will actually create a device in the KV. So I don't see why it won't see that. So maybe there's some other problem there. So if you have the log while you're trying that, then I can take a look at the log in the core and figure out what it is. It sounds more like a bug instead of race condition.
Okay, I think it's because of that. When you send child device detected to core also, send a message to Python adapter. This is gone via Kafka, and the responses come via Kafka. Then it updates the KV store. Okay, so this takes some time. If you send this Kafka message and get child device here, then you cannot find the child device on KV store because probably the core is waiting the adapt device response from the ONU adapter.
Yeah, I don't think you have the sequence there correct, because when they adopt of the device, enable device that you're seeing there, before the core send that adopt, the core actually create an adapter, an agent for that device, and that gets stored in a KV store. So that save is already done before even the adopt device goes down. So there's something else that is not working. Like if you send me the log, I can take a look.
Okay,
at it.
I will send log. Okay.
So Ken, are you saying it's more the core issue than the OpenOT? Because Amit was looking for the log also, right?
Well, I don't know where the issue is, but I need to take a look at the log to figure out like why we are seeing a message coming in and the core doesn't have time to store that data. So maybe there's something else happening. I don't know exactly what it is, but I need to look at the log to figure out what the heck is happening.
Well, I mean, should the activate ONU be triggered by some other event? I mean, with the fact that I've created my KV store entry for that ONU now exists in the system, shouldn't that be a trigger for activating the ONU?
My suggestion is that, I mean, after we inserted this information to KV store, we can send a message from core to OpenOT adapter and say that the child device detect is completed successfully, and then we can say this activates ONU to the device. I should also say that can when we're doing tests with BBSIM, because the BBSIM sent this ONU indication right after it received the activate ONU. The test wasn't failed for one ONU because the core and ONU adapters were fast enough to insert these KV stores. So, but when you try to do this with hundreds of ONUs, then KV store and ONU adapters start to be slow. So your ONU indications start to fail because of this race condition. In order to get rid of this, we put a sleep here in BBC. So send the ONU indication late, so we get rid of this problem. Okay.
I think if I remember, I think the ONU discovered event essentially just keeps coming until the activate occurs, I think.
But the moment a child's device is detected, that data gets stored in a KV store, and then the core send an adopt device to their ONU adapters. So obviously there's something that is not working there. So looking at the logs may give more information.
Good. I will send the logs to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. And maybe you can check this code again, because when I checked this code a month ago, it wasn't, as you said, it was putting the data into KV store after it received the other device response from the ONU adapter. So,
yeah, I checked that. I checked it this morning after I see your review, so I know the order in which it's doing things.
Okay then, I'll send you the logs when I do the test again.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. We've got just a few minutes left. Is it all right if I take presentation rights back?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So once you have those logs, it sounded like Amit would be looking at them as well. So Amit and Ken will take a look. And then we have 3 new issues that we have to get to quickly. I'll see if we've got time. First one, VOL 1690, VOL 2.0 etcd cluster out of memory. And so we do have some info attached for that. And I'm not sure, do we have Kevin on the bridge? I don't think I see Kevin. Do we have any questions that need to go back to Kevin on this item? Okay, then let's go ahead and look at Vol 1691. VOLTHA OpenOLT Go stuck registering with the core. This one was opened by William. And William, are you on the audio? Okay, so we do have the discussion down here, or the description down here. Do we have any questions today for William on this item?
He attached to the log, right? So
yeah. Yes, here it is. I hadn't scrolled down far enough. So that is attached.
Okay. Is there something Amit can take a look, or is it on the core side? Oh.
No, we will take a look at it.
Okay. Thank you, Amit. And then the next new item, 1692, VOLTHA 2 Open Chord Helm Read Write Core Crash Loop Back Off. This one was opened by Kevin again. Both of the read write cores go into crash loop back off, and we have a description here on the installation, and occurs with 2.01 and 2.00.
This may be perfectly normal. As the Helm charts come up, the cores will crash and restart until Kafka and etcd are up.
Okay.
So I'll add a comment to this, so that just to clarify that that's what he's seeing, but that's sort of expected. Yeah, I mean, we could argue that the right behavior would be to behave better when you can't connect, but.
So should this be a bug or is it a story?
I mean, it could be considered a bug or behavior. I don't know.
Why don't you take a look and then maybe readjust it? Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, thank you, David. And we are pretty much out of time. Let me go back to our agenda really quickly. We did do some updates last week on sprint status. I do want to point out we've got a number of issues that are under review in Garrett. Some look like they've kind of been on hold for a number of weeks. So I had wanted to take some time with the group to see if there's anything that I can help with on my part on getting some of those reactivated. If there's something I can assist with, please let me know. I know we are out of time for discussion today, so maybe I can try and do some more follow-up offline. Any quick items from the group? I'll go over to the board really quickly if anyone wants to jump to one in the last minute that we've got before we wrap up today's call. Okay, so I think we are out of time, and Amit and Girish, some of those items were ones I'd wanted to check on with you to see if there's anything we needed from the community to assist with that. So I'll try and follow up with you offline. And with that, we're out of time. So thank you, everyone. We do have the demo lined up for Thursday's call. That will be done by David. And with that, I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and we will end today's meeting.